The air above Xyrath shimmered as the rogue ships hovered silently over the city. Their dark hulls contrasted sharply with the pale glow of the towers below. Commander Elena Voss stood on the plaza, flanked by her team, and watched as the city seemed to hold its breath. Every Xyrathian she had met so far, the calm, glowing figures of Lyran and the others, appeared tense. It was clear that this faction did not share the same trust. Then a figure emerged from the shadows of one of the tallest spires. Its armor was intricate, glimmering faintly under the ambient light. Tall, imposing, yet dignified, General Kale, leader of the planet's high command, had arrived. His eyes, large and luminous, scanned Elena and her team carefully. The silence of the plaza was deafening. To everyone's surprise, Kyle bowed his head. His voice was steady but filled with emotion. "My father said you saved our world," he said. The words hung in the air. Elena felt a shiver run down her spine. The humans had expected caution, curiosity, maybe even suspicion, but not this. Recognition, gratitude, reverence. Elena stepped forward, her tone calm but respectful. "General Kale, it is an honor to meet you. Your people have kept our story alive for centuries?" Kyle raised his head slightly, his gaze intense. "Centuries. Our history is filled with fragments, legends of a human who came when all hope seemed lost. My father told me stories of the star-born savior who arrived in a vessel of light, performing feats no Xyrathian technology could accomplish. He said one day this being would return, and now, you're here." Rylan, standing just behind Elena, whispered, "Commander, this is beyond any first contact protocol we've practiced." Elena nodded subtly, understanding the weight of the moment. "We are here as friends, General Kale, but we need to know why your world has remained silent for so long. Why are your cities empty? And why do some factions resist our presence?" Kale's expression darkened slightly. "Xyrath has not been at peace. While most of our people remember the help your kind gave, there are those who fear humans, who distrust outsiders. They see interference as dangerous. The rogue faction you witnessed, they believe humanity should not return." Elena glanced at the horizon, where the rogue ships hovered like predatory shadows. "Then we need to act carefully. We will not allow innocent lives to be endangered, but we cannot ignore history either. Humans once saved Xyrath. Perhaps we can do it again." Kale studied her face, noting the calm determination. Slowly he nodded. "If your purpose is to protect and guide, I will support you. But trust must be earned. You will see both the best and worst of our people." The group moved deeper into the city, the glow from the towers illuminating their path. As they walked, Kyle explained the history of Xyrath in detail. Centuries ago, a massive stellar storm threatened to obliterate the planet. Xyrathian technology alone could not prevent it. Then unexpectedly a human ship appeared, acting decisively to stabilize the planet's orbit and shield its surface from destruction. "Your actions were recorded," Kale said, gesturing to a large chamber filled with holographic displays. "But over time, details were lost. What remained was legend. The star-born savior became a symbol of hope, a figure of reverence. Few believed it was real, but the story persisted." Elena studied the holograms carefully. The images showed a sleek human vessel maneuvering through storm clouds, activating energy fields that stabilized the planet. Xyrathians in the images cheered, their faces glowing with gratitude. Elena felt a sense of awe. Humans had truly left a mark on this world, a mark that had lasted for generations. Rylan broke the silence. "Commander, look at this. The technology they depict. It's advanced, yes, but their understanding of physics seems incomplete. They relied on our ancestors' ingenuity to survive." Elena nodded. "That explains why they are so eager to learn from us now. They remember the outcome, not the methods. Our return is an opportunity to rebuild knowledge, not just offer aid." Lyran guided them to the council chamber where Xyrathian leaders had gathered. Their forms glowed softly, each figure unique in design. Some were tall and slender like Lyran, others more rounded with energy patterns flowing across their skin. All eyes turned toward Elena and her team. Kyle addressed the council. "These humans are the descendants of those who saved Xyrath. They have returned not as conquerors but as allies. We must listen and guide them, for the rogue faction grows bolder each day." A murmur spread through the council. One leader, a figure named Thalon, spoke cautiously. "We have preserved our history, But what guarantee do we have that humans will act wisely now? The galaxy is different. Time has changed both our species. Elena stepped forward. I cannot speak for all humans, but I can promise that we act with courage and reason. We do not seek dominion, only cooperation. Your planet is your own. We offer guidance, experience, and partnership. Kale nodded approvingly. Her words are sincere. Humans once faced impossible odds and succeeded. If they choose to act, it is because they believe in doing what is right. The discussion continued, but outside, the rogue faction's presence grew stronger. Sensors indicated they were testing the city's defenses, probing for weaknesses. Elena realized that diplomacy alone would not be enough. Action was necessary, but careful, measured action. Lyran noticed her concern. The rogue faction believes humans are a threat. They fear change and they fear the unknown. But you have allies here, Commander. Not all Zerathians doubt you. Elena took a deep breath. Then we must show them the truth. That humans are not just legends, but living partners in their survival. But we must also be ready. If diplomacy fails, we need a plan to protect the innocent. Kyle approached Elena. There is an ancient device in the lower chambers of the city, he said quietly. It was built by your ancestors and by our own engineers to defend against planetary threats. It is dormant now, but it can be activated. Few of us know how to use it, perhaps. You can, Elena's eyes widened. A human device? Built here centuries ago? Kale nodded. Your people's knowledge and ingenuity were instrumental in its creation. If the rogue faction attacks, it may be the key to saving Zyrath again. The revelation filled Elena with determination. Humans had once saved this planet. Now not only had they returned, but they had the chance to continue their legacy. Every challenge, every decision mattered more than ever. The council agreed to allow Elena and her team access to the ancient device. They descended into the lower chambers, vast halls filled with glowing panels and intricate mechanisms. The technology was unfamiliar, yet there was a sense of harmony between human engineering and Zerathian innovation. Elena examined the control panels carefully. Symbols matched those she had seen in the historical holograms, confirming her suspicion. This device was built with human input. She felt a surge of pride and responsibility. Humans had left their mark not just in legend but in physical form, technology capable of protecting an entire world. Rylan looked over her shoulder. Commander, this is incredible. It's like our ancestors never truly left. They built a bridge between worlds. Elena smiled faintly. And now it is our turn to honor that bridge. We must act wisely but decisively. Zereth is counting on us. Just as it once did. As they prepared to study the device further, alarms blared throughout the lower chambers. The rogue faction had made their move. Outside, the first flashes of energy indicated that a confrontation was imminent. Elena's team moved quickly, coordinating with Kyle and the city's defenders. This was the moment where diplomacy and action merged. Humans had returned not just to observe history, but to protect it, and as the lights of the city shimmered around her, Elena knew that the coming battle would test courage, strategy, and the very spirit of humanity once more. Commander Elena Voss leaned back in her seat aboard the starship Horizon's Edge, staring at the vast expanse of space before her. The stars glittered like scattered diamonds against the dark canvas of the universe, but one planet in particular had captured her attention. Zyrath. Its surface shimmered faintly, glowing with pale blue light that hinted at strange minerals in its atmosphere. Sensors showed cities below, structured in perfect geometric shapes yet strangely quiet. Commander Voss, said Lieutenant Rylan, her communications officer. We are entering orbit. The planet's energy signatures are stable, but I'm detecting no major life signals at the city centers. Elena frowned. No signs of life or no signs of activity? She asked, her voice calm but cautious. Both, ma'am. The energy patterns suggest buildings are occupied, but there are no mass movements. It's unusual, Rylan replied. Elena's mind raced. Humanity had explored countless planets, but something about Zyrath was different. The records from the first probe suggested a thriving civilization, technology far beyond anything humans had seen. But now the cities were silent. She tightened her grip on the armrest. Prepare a landing team. I want us to establish contact carefully. Sensors only give part of the picture. We need eyes on the ground. The landing craft detached from the ship, descending slowly through Zyrath's glowing clouds. Elena watched the planet's surface grow larger through the viewport. Rivers of light ran across the cities like veins, and tall spires glimmered in the dim light. As the craft touched down, the hatch opened and the air outside smelled faintly metallic, tinged with something sweet. The landing team stepped out cautiously. Elena's boots made soft prints on the smooth surface of the city's plaza. Strange symbols etched into the ground seemed to glow faintly beneath her feet. Around her, buildings stretched high into the sky, their surfaces reflective but transparent in parts, revealing inner chambers filled with glowing machinery. Suddenly, a movement caught her eye. A group of tall, slender figures emerged from one of the towers. Their skin had a faint shimmer, almost as if light passed through them. They wore garments that glowed softly, and their eyes were large and expressive, showing both curiosity and caution. Elena signaled her team to lower their weapons and take non-threatening positions. One of the figures stepped forward. Its voice was melodic, but its words were translated by the ship's universal translator. "We have been expecting you," it said. Elena exchanged a surprised glance with Rylan. "Expecting us?" She repeated. "We are visitors, not—" "Visitors you were anticipating?" The alien, who introduced itself as Lyran, nodded. "Our records speak of a savior from the stars, one who will come when the planet faces great danger. We were told this being would arrive in a vessel of light and courage." Elena's eyebrows lifted. "A savior?" she asked. "Your records mention a human." Lyran inclined its head. "The details are incomplete, but your species is central to our history. Centuries ago, your kind helped prevent the destruction of Xyrath. Few details remain, but your legacy is remembered," Rylan whispered to Elena. "Commander, this could be a first contact situation unlike any other. They recognize humans as heroes." Elena nodded slowly, trying to keep her surprise under control. "Keep communications open. Let them know we mean no harm. But we need to understand why their cities are silent. Something is not right here." Lyran gestured for them to follow. The team walked through the city, observing technology that seemed impossible even by human standards. Buildings shifted their shape slightly as people moved through them. Lighting adjusted automatically to individual presence, and screens displayed data in colors humans could barely perceive. Yet despite the apparent activity, the city felt empty. Eventually, they reached a grand chamber at the center of the city. It was massive, with a high-domed ceiling that shimmered like liquid crystal. Lyran guided them to a large holographic display that projected the history of Xyrath. Images of great storms, planetary upheavals, and shadowy figures appeared. One sequence showed a massive stellar storm heading straight for Xyrath, with cities and people in chaos. Then a shining vessel appeared, performing actions that stabilized the planet and redirected the storm. Elena's eyes widened. The vessel was unmistakably human in design, sleek, aerodynamic, and powerful. This is our ship," she whispered. Lyran nodded. "Your people acted when our technology could not. You saved our world, though the details have been lost to time. We have preserved the story of the Savior, waiting for the day one of your kind would return." Elena felt a mixture of awe and responsibility. Humans had saved Xyrath centuries ago, and now somehow the planet had called them back. But why? And what danger still lingered? Their exploration was interrupted by sudden alarms. Sensors detected movement at the perimeter of the city. Fast, aggressive energy signatures approaching. Lyran's expression shifted to concern. "Not all on Xyrath welcome your presence. There are those who see humans as a threat. They may act to prevent your return." Elena signaled her team to defensive positions. "We need to know who they are and what they want. Stay calm but be ready. This mission is more than diplomatic. It's going to be tactical as well." The approaching force revealed itself. Sleek, dark ships descending rapidly, piloted by figures that radiated hostility. They were Xyrathians too, but altered, corrupted by a rogue ideology seeking to dominate rather than protect. Elena realized that the planet's past was not fully settled. Even though humans had once saved Xyrath, factions remained that distrusted or even feared their return. Elena's mind raced. They had come here expecting a quiet, diplomatic mission, but now it was clear that humans had a role to play once more. She called her team together. "Listen carefully. We are not just visitors. We are a part of this planet's history. Our actions now may decide its future again. We will proceed with caution, but we will not back down." Lyran placed a hand on Elena's shoulder, a gesture of trust. "Commander Voss, your courage is why we are not yet lost. Whatever happens next, Know that the legacy of your people lives here. You are the savior we have awaited." Elena looked around at her team, then back at the glowing city. She felt the weight of history pressing down on her, but also a surge of determination. Humans had once faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Now she would do it again. As the first rogue ships fired warning beams, Elena ordered her team into formation. The horizon's edge stood ready in orbit, prepared to provide support. The city below, silent for so long, began to hum with the energy of coordinated defense. This was no longer just a mission. It was a battle for trust, survival, and the continuation of a heroic legacy. Elena took a deep breath. She had always believed humans could rise to any challenge. Now on Zerath, that belief would be tested like never before. The fate of a world and the honor of humanity rested on her decisions. And as the city's lights shimmered around her, she felt a spark of hope. The adventure had begun, and history was waiting to be rewritten. The calm of Zerath's glowing cities shattered as the rogue faction's ships advanced. From the horizon, their dark silhouettes grew larger, bristling with energy weapons and ominous shapes. Commander Elena Voss stood on the plaza, flanked by her team and Zerathian defenders. The hum of the city's energy grid seemed almost nervous, as if the planet itself sensed the danger. "Commander," Rylan said, scanning the approaching forces. "They're not just testing defenses anymore. They intend to strike, and they're using advanced tactics we've never seen on this planet before." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll show them why humans survive against impossible odds. Position the team and prepare the city's defenses. We need to buy time for Kale to organize the Zerathian forces and for us to study that ancient device." General Kale joined her, his armor reflecting the city's pale glow. "These are the Dravok rogue Zerathians who reject unity. They believe the return of humans will weaken Zerath. They are ruthless, skilled, and willing to destroy anything in their path." Elena took a deep breath. "Then we need to match their ruthlessness with strategy, and our courage with precision." The team moved swiftly through the city streets, activating defense grids and coordinating with Zerathian commanders. Elena noticed the blending of human and alien tactics. Predictive algorithms from human designs merged with the Zerathians' energy shielding and adaptive architecture. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. "We don't just fight them," she reminded her team. "We show them why humans once saved this world, and why we are still capable of protecting it." The first wave of the Dravok attacked. Energy beams lit up the sky as ships maneuvered aggressively, trying to disable the city's shields. Elena and her team took positions in the plaza's defensive towers, coordinating with Kale's forces. "Commander, the outer shield is weakening," Rylan reported. "If we don't act fast, they'll breach the city center." Elena scanned the city's lower chambers. The ancient human device rested there, dormant but intact. "We can't wait. The device is our key. Prepare the activation protocols." "Kale, can your engineers assist?" Kale nodded. "Yes. Only a combined effort of humans and Zerathians can awaken it. It requires precise calibration." Elena and Kale's teams descended into the chambers. The device was massive, stretching across the hall with glowing conduits and intricate panels. Symbols pulsed faintly, waiting for guidance. Elena's heart raced as she studied the controls, recognizing patterns from the historical hologram she had seen. Centuries ago, humans had built this device, and now it fell to her to operate it once more. "This is incredible," Rylan said softly. "Our ancestors left a legacy that can still save lives." Elena nodded. "It's more than technology. It's proof that courage and intelligence can endure across generations. And now it's our turn to honor it." As they worked, the city shook from distant blasts. The Dravok were relentless, attacking in waves, testing every defense. Elena realized that timing was critical. The device required synchronization between human and Zerathian efforts. Any mistake could damage the city, or worse. Kale's engineers adjusted the conduits while Elena guided the activation sequence. Slowly, the device hummed to life, sending waves of energy through the city. Protective shields expanded, deflecting incoming attacks. Energy barriers formed around critical structures, stabilizing buildings that had begun to tremble under the assault. "Commander?" Lyran called from above. "They are regrouping. They will adapt to the new shields. We need more than protection. They are probing for weaknesses." Elena clenched her jaw. "Then we'll give them intelligence they can't anticipate. Prepare the countermeasures. We strike where they least expect it. Using a combination of human ingenuity and Zyrathian technology, Elena devised a strategy. The city's adaptive defenses would lure the Dravok into narrow corridors, where human-guided energy pulses could disable their ships without harming the city. Kale coordinated Zyrathian forces, guiding them to critical points for maximum effect. The first counterattack began. Energy pulses surged through the streets, disabling several Dravok ships. The rogue attackers reeled in surprise, unprepared for the precision and timing of the coordinated strike. Elena's team moved quickly, directing fire and adjusting the device's energy output in real time. "Commander, shields holding at 90%, Rylan reported. "The countermeasures are working, but they'll adapt soon." Elena smiled faintly. "Then we adapt faster. Humans survived impossible odds before. We'll do it again." In the midst of battle, Kale approached Elena. "Commander, your tactics, they are inspiring, my people. They are beginning to see humans not as legends, but as partners in survival." Elena nodded. "That is what we aim for. Courage and reason working together, that is humanity's gift." The Dravok launched a concentrated attack on the city's central plaza. Elena realized that only a daring maneuver could save both the city and the device. She coordinated with Kale to deploy a specialized energy shield that would protect the plaza while allowing counterattacks to target the rogue ships. The shield enveloped the plaza, deflecting beams and absorbing impacts. The device hummed louder, responding to the coordinated human Zyrathian commands. Elena guided the energy pulses precisely, disabling Dravok ships one by one. Amidst the chaos, Elena noticed small groups of Zyrathian civilians attempting to flee. She directed her team to create safe corridors, ensuring that no one was harmed in the crossfire. "We protect the innocent first," she reminded them. "That is what humans do." The battle raged for hours. Slowly, the tide turned. The Dravok, unprepared for the combination of human strategy and Zyrathian technology, began to retreat. Their formation broke, and one by one, their ships fled into the atmosphere, leaving the city battered but intact. Kyle surveyed the aftermath. "The city is damaged but not destroyed. The rogue faction has been repelled for now. You have proven yourself, Commander Elena. Once again, humans have saved Zyrath." Elena allowed herself a moment to breathe. "We did it together, Kale. Your people, our team. This was a combined effort. But we must remain vigilant. They may return." Lyran approached, glowing faintly in the dim light of the plaza. "Commander, your actions today will be remembered for generations. Not just as a hero, but as a partner who honors the legacy of the past." Elena felt a warmth of pride. Humans had always believed in overcoming impossible odds. Here, on a distant planet, that belief had been tested and proven once more. She looked around at the glowing city, now alive with cautious energy, and knew that the story of humanity was far from over. Kale placed a hand on her shoulder. "You have given my people hope. My father spoke of the savior who would come. Now you have shown us that courage and wisdom endure across time and space." Elena smiled. "We only acted as humans always do. Courage, reason, and a willingness to stand when the odds seem impossible. That is what saved Zyrath once, and that is what will continue to protect it." As night fell over the glowing city, Elena and her team began assessing the damage, coordinating repairs, and preparing for the possibility of future attacks. The rogue faction may have been repelled, but their threat remained. Yet with the ancient device active and trust building between humans and Zyrathians, hope had returned. Elena realized that this was only the beginning. The planet's history had intertwined with humanity's, and now they were a part of its present and future. She looked at Kale, Lyran, and her own team. Together, they would face whatever challenges came next, proving that humans were not just legends, they were living, breathing saviors capable of rising to any challenge. And in that moment, the glow of Zyrath seemed brighter, reflecting the enduring bond between humans and a world they had once saved, and were now committed to protecting once more. The city's calm was fragile. Though the rogue Dravok faction had been repelled before, their remnants regrouped, launching a sudden fierce attack on the planetary capital. Commander Elena Voss stood at the forefront, her team beside her, the ancient human device humming with energy behind them. "Commander," Rylan shouted, "they're focusing on the city center. If they breach it, the device and countless lives could be destroyed." Elena's eyes narrowed. She could see the rogue ship swooping down, energy beams cutting across the city, knocking out sections of the adaptive shields. Buildings trembled as citizens fled through protective corridors. "We cannot allow that," she said firmly. "Activate the full defensive sequence. Kale, lead your forces to reinforce the perimeter. We must protect the heart of Zerath." Kyle nodded, his expression grim. The Dravok fight with reckless abandon. Many will not survive unless we act decisively. Elena and her team descended into the lower chambers, coordinating with Zyrathian engineers to maximize the device's potential. The controls required exact timing and precise input. A miscalculation could destabilize the city's energy grids. Elena's fingers flew over the holographic panels, adjusting power flows, recalibrating shields, and syncing energy pulses with the city's adaptive structures. "Commander," Lyran said, "the Dravok are adapting faster than anticipated. We need a strategy beyond defense. We must counterattack." Elena nodded. "Then we hit them where they least expect it. Rylan, coordinate with Kale's forces. Use the device to create tactical zones, corridors that guide their ships into areas where we can neutralize them without harming the city." As the Dravok advanced, Elena's plan unfolded. Energy corridors lit the streets, luring rogue ships into precise paths. Once inside, synchronized pulses from the device disabled their engines, forcing the attackers to retreat or crash harmlessly. Zerathian defenders moved in tandem, taking control of the outer streets while citizens were guided to safety. The battle intensified. The rogue faction, desperate to overcome the device, concentrated a massive strike on the central plaza. Energy beams pierced the shields, shaking the ground. Elena realized that the only way to save the city was a coordinated, high-risk maneuver. She would have to manually override part of the device's core to generate a protective barrier capable of holding the assault. "This is dangerous," Kyle said. "You may be injured or worse." Elena met his gaze firmly. "We risk more by hesitating. Humanity has always faced impossible odds. If we act together, we can prevail." The override sequence required her to enter the device's core chamber, a place glowing with intense energy. The air crackled as she approached. Panels hummed, conduits radiated power, and the pulse of the planet beneath seemed to sync with her heartbeat. She entered the chamber, her team supporting her from outside. As Elena began the override, energy surged through her, testing her endurance. The device responded, expanding a massive protective barrier over the plaza and surrounding buildings. Outside, the Dravok's attack was partially deflected, but the pressure continued. Energy beams struck the barrier, making the city tremble violently. Inside the chamber, Elena maintained the sequence, sweat streaming down her face. She could feel the strain, the immense responsibility pressing down on her. Every action mattered. Every misstep could cost countless lives. Kale's voice came through the communicator. "Hold on, Commander. We are reinforcing the device with all available power. You are not alone in this." Elena's fingers danced across the panels, redirecting energy flows, stabilizing conduits, and compensating for surges. Slowly, the barrier strengthened, forming a glowing dome that repelled the Dravok's concentrated assault. The attackers faltered, their coordinated strikes failing against the combined human-Zyrathian defense. Outside, Kale led a bold counterattack, exploiting the openings Elena had created. Zerathian forces, guided by human strategy, neutralized rogue ships, securing the city's perimeter. Citizens watched in awe as humans and Zerathians fought together, demonstrating courage, skill, and unity. After hours of relentless effort, the Dravok were finally driven back. Their ships retreated into the atmosphere, leaving the city battered but standing. The plaza, though damaged, remained protected. Elena stepped out of the chamber, exhausted but triumphant. Kyle approached her, bowing his head once more. "Commander Elena, your courage has saved Zerath. Your people's legacy is alive in your actions." Elena smiled faintly, feeling a mixture of relief and pride. "We acted as humans always do, together with courage and reason. Zerath is not just a world we saved centuries ago. It is a world we continue to protect." Lyran joined them, glowing softly. "The story of the Starborn Savior has come full circle. Today it is not legend, it is truth. You have ensured our survival once more." As night fell over the glowing city, Elena and her team began coordinating repairs and reinforcing defenses. The battle was over, but the bond between humans and Zyrathians had been strengthened forever. Humanity had proven that courage, wisdom, and teamwork could overcome even the most impossible challenges. The sun rose over Zerath, casting soft light across the repaired city. The streets, though still marked by battle, were alive with energy and activity. Humans and Zerathians moved together, restoring the planet and celebrating their shared victory. Commander Elena Voss stood on a balcony overlooking the central plaza. The city that had once been quiet and cautious now buzzed with hope. Citizens passed beneath her, pausing to smile and nod in gratitude. The story of the star-born savior, once legend, had been reaffirmed through courage and unity. Kyle joined her, his armor reflecting the morning light. "You have given my people more than protection," he said. "You have given us hope and trust. Your presence has shown that humans are not just stories in our history, they are partners in our future." Elena nodded. "We only acted as humans always do. Courage, reason, and a willingness to act in the face of danger. That is what saved Zerath once, and that is what will continue to protect it." Rylan approached, holding a report. "Commander, the city systems are fully operational. Civilian safety has been restored. The rogue faction has been neutralized for now." Elena smiled. "Good, but we remain vigilant. History has shown that peace is temporary. Our presence here must be a symbol of guidance and unity, not domination." Lyran approached, glowing softly. "Commander, the Council wishes to honor you and your team. Your actions today will be remembered for generations. Monuments and records will ensure that humans are never forgotten in Zyrathian history." Elena felt a warmth of pride. Humans had always believed in rising to challenges, and here on a distant planet, that belief had proven true once again. She looked around at the city, alive and thriving, and knew that their mission had made a lasting impact. Kale placed a hand on her shoulder. "My father's stories were true. The star-born savior did come. But you, Commander, have proven that humanity's courage is enduring. You have reminded my people and yourselves that humans can face impossible odds and succeed." Elena smiled, feeling the weight of history and responsibility settle comfortably on her shoulders. "We have done more than survive. We have built a bridge between worlds, one that will endure for generations. Zerath and humanity are connected now, and our shared legacy will guide both our futures." The council gathered to honor Elena and her team. Lyran spoke first, recounting the legend of the star-born savior and explaining how humans had once saved Zerath centuries ago. Then in vivid detail, they described the recent battle, the courage, strategy, and unity that had prevented disaster once more. Elena watched as citizens and leaders listened, their faces filled with gratitude and awe. She realized that humanity's strength lay not only in technology or intelligence but in courage, compassion, and the willingness to act when the stakes were highest. As preparations for her departure began, Kale approached one final time. "Commander Elena, when you return to your world, know that you carry the respect and admiration of an entire planet. Your actions will be remembered, and your story will be told to every generation of Zerathians." Elena looked at him and bowed slightly. "Thank you, General Kale. I will carry your story with me, and I hope humanity can live up to the trust you have placed in us." The humans prepared to board their ship, the Horizon's Edge. As it lifted into orbit, Elena looked down on the planet glowing softly beneath her. She saw children playing in restored plazas, engineers repairing energy conduits, and citizens waving in gratitude. The memory of battle lingered, but it was overshadowed by hope and unity. Kale watched from the observation deck, his gaze steady. "Safe travels, Commander. My father spoke the truth. You saved our world, and now history has proven it again." Elena felt a sense of peace. Humans had not just defended Zerath, they had become part of its legacy. The title once whispered in legend, the star-born savior, was no longer a distant tale. It was living truth, a testament to the courage and spirit of humanity. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, Elena looked at the stars, feeling the connection between worlds, past and present, human and Zerathian. She knew that the adventure had changed not only Zerath but also humanity. Courage, compassion, and the willingness to act, even when the odds seemed impossible, were the true marks of her people. And as the stars stretched into streaks of light, Elena whispered to herself, "We did it. Waitrul."